All right, so this is a follow-up lesson for some of my online remote learning piano students. This lesson will cover um, a few types of triads. If you're watching this video for the first time on my regular YouTube channel, and if you're not one of my regular students, you may have to go back and watch the first video in this series where I teach major and minor triads, and then the second video deals with extended major and minor triads, and then this third one I'll show you how to play a major triad, again a review, a minor triad, also review, and two additional types of triads: an augmented triad and a diminished triad. Just a quick review. The word triad comes from tri, three, so it's a three-note chord. Not all chords are triads. You can have many notes in a chord, but if we use the word triad, we now have to use only three notes. So a major triad would be the steps in a major scale, for example, 1 3 5. Okay. A minor triad, we have 1 flat 3 5. Okay. So in C major, a C triad would be the major triad would be C E G, and the C minor triad would be C E flat G. Now the augmented triad, augmented means made bigger, increased. So we're increasing the fifth degree of the scale, 1 3 5. So the fifth note, that 5, is going to be sharp. So a C augmented triad would be the notes C, E, G sharp. This is a less common type of triad, but it's a very nice sounding triad, quite unusual. And a diminished triad will, if you think of your minor triad, when we have 1 flat 3 5, so C, E flat, G, we turn that minor triad into a diminished triad by also lowering the fifth, turning that into a flat note. So a C diminished triad would be C, E flat, G flat. Do not call that third note an F sharp. When you look at your piano, you know that note can be called F sharp or G flat. If you don't know what I'm talking about right now, just leave it alone. But just understand that the top note of that C diminished triad is not called an F sharp, it's called a G flat. It'll sound the same, but you gotta make sure you learn the right words, the right terminology. So again, quick review before you go into the video. A major triad is 1 3 5. C major triad would be C, E, G. A minor triad is 1 flat 3 5. So C minor triad would be C, E flat, G. An augmented triad would be 1 3 5 plus or 5 sharp, and I say the word plus because in sheet music they would write it like that with a plus, like C 5 plus, or sometimes just C plus, and that's C, E, G sharp. And a diminished triad would be 1 flat 3 flat 5, which is C, E flat, G flat. Now here's the order in which I want you to practice these, because it is a little bit confusing. The notes go up and down all over the place. So here's how I want you to practice them, and this is how I show them to you in the video in just a minute here when I'm done talking. Practice the chords, the triads, in this order. and write this down if you have to, or just memorize it. Major, augmented, major, minor, diminished. So practice the triads in this order, which will help you memorize them and understand the difference between the different triads. So listen: major, augmented, back to major, minor, diminished. Now the reason that I want you to practice the major, I want you to play the major triad twice in a row there, meaning major, augmented, major, minor, diminished, is because it's easier to find the augmented triad from the major triad. It's also easier to find the minor triad from the major triad. So when you play this on the piano, when you watch me play it in a minute, you'll see what I'm talking about. So practice these triads in this order: major, augmented, major, minor, diminished. Now the end goal here is to memorize these really well so that you can play them in a random order quickly. And by quickly, I don't mean for you to play it fast, but to find them fast. So if you were to take a piece of paper and just write down random triads, like let's say C major, F minor, D diminished, A augmented, just some random order, then you should be able to find those quickly. So my door is open, so there's a kid screaming outside. Maybe you heard them. Some kids are playing out there. So anyways, the goal here, the end goal here, is to have these memorized so well that you can find them quickly. All right, anyways, watch the video. If you have any questions, you know how to contact me. For those of you that are not my online students, feel free to write questions or comments at the bottom. Thanks for watching the video, and good luck to you.